In this video, I will go back to basic and will show you the results of tests where I only use the simple moving average. The results of these tests can also be used as information for your manual trading strategy. I will show you the best 3 SMA lengths and timeframes, some remarkable findings over all these tests, and some suggestions to improve this strategy. Let's get right to it. This video is made in response after receiving questions from the audience that also want to see trading strategies that can be done manually and can also check the results by themselves. In my latest videos, I have presented the results of some highly sophisticated trading algorithms and their sometimes questionable results. And although they can hypothetically provide you with very high gains, they also include a risk factor where you cannot tell what is happening within the code. Therefore, relying on the coder's expertise and the results of backtests and forward tests before using the algo with real trading. So this time I thought it was time to take a step back and test out the most simple way of trading crypto, stocks, options and other assets, where you use only one indicator, in this case the simple moving average. The trading strategy is as simple as can be. I also added some minor variations to find out which of them has the highest probability for future profits, but still all versions can also be used with manual trading. So, if you do not have a trading bot or some other automatic buy or sell mechanism, the strategy and the results I got could also be interesting for you to see. So, watch until the end for all the information. And in this test, I will use my hopefully already well-known setup and will do spot and long trading on multiple timeframes. As for the trading strategies, here I will only use the following rules. For spot trading, here only long trades will be made and there are 2 strategies I will test. The first trading strategy does long buys when the close price crosses above the simple moving average. And the second variant does long buys as long as the close price is above the simple moving average. So in the first case, there is only one buying opportunity and that is exactly at the crossover moment and no candle before or after. In the second case, there can be a long buy as long as the close price is above the SMA. But in both cases, there is no long trade when the close price is below the SMA. As for the trade exits, the exit will be made if there is 100% profits reached, or if the close price gets below the SMA. There is no stop loss set, so the trade will be stopped when either of these 2 conditions are met. I will also do a futures test where both long and short trades are made, and here the rules are also simple. In this case I trade both ways. The first trading strategy does long buys at the crossover above the SMA and short sells at the crossover below the SMA, so the cross down. And with the second version, there will be long buys as long as the price is above the SMA, or short sells as long as the close price is below the SMA. And as for the trade exits, the long trade will be exited when the price goes below the SMA, and in the case of short trades, these will be exited when the price is above the SMA. But in both cases, when there is a 100% profit reached, then the ROI setting will also close the position. Again, the small distinction between crossed above and is above is the moment and period where the trade can be made. I will also do the tests on the most used SMA lengths according to the Investopedia website, which are the 5 period, 10 period, 20, 50, 100 and 200 period moving average. And will not use the Fibonacci sequences in this case. So let's start and test these different trading strategy setups, and I will come back and present the results I got with the automated backtests. After running my computer for days and days to do backtesting on the different SMA strategies on these different time frames and with spot and futures trading, I can now tell you which of these had the best results. Let's start with the SMA version that has the 3rd best results over the backtests. And that is the SMA 20 on the 4-hour time frame, where long trades are made as long as the close price is above the SMA and where short trades are made as long as the close price is below the SMA. Over the full backtest range, this SMA setting does provide you enough trades that can be quite profitable over time. The profit curve is also built up very nicely over my backtest settings. However, you should be aware that this trading strategy has only slightly less than 30% win rate. In my automated backtests, I had some long losing streaks which can put your patience and faith to the test. You also have to rely on the big winners that provide you with the best gains and settle for lots of small losses over time. However, the maximum drawdown is only 24% with an average of 8.7%. And that is below average for a swing trading strategy. The Kalmar, Sortino and Sharpe ratios also approve this strategy with pretty high scores. But you have to be aware that not all crypto pairs respond well to these settings, so you have to experiment and find out which pairs have the highest probability for winning trades with these settings. But all in all, it's a good start for such a simple trading strategy. The next best scoring trading strategy with the SMA setting is the SMA 200 on the 4-hour time frame with futures trading. And its end result in theoretical backtesting profits is a big step up in comparison with the SMA 20 version. However, the build-up of this amount looks very jagged, so your psyche will be taken to the test when there are these big profitable swings up and large swings back down again. However, the overall curve ends to end up positive and also takes the second spot in these tests. And that's not strange, of course, since the win rate is only 20%, with a maximum win streak of 13 in my test. So 80% of your manual trades are losing, and it might be well that you might well have over 40 losing trades after another, as you can see in my test results. Again, this will be a game of patience and having the steel nerves to let your winning trades run when you have them. But a positive thing here is that the drawdown in this case is also lower than the average swing trading strategy. In my experience, these can be around 40% drawdown at max. The average drawdown here is around 10%, but the main thing here in this chart that it shows that drawdowns of 20% are the most common. The weekly profit-loss chart shows the average profits you have per week. And as you can see, this average profit line is mostly above the zero line, which indicates positive trading weeks in this hypothetical case, with some outliers to the top and the bottom. Now, the Kalmar and Sortino ratio are quite positive about this strategy, but the Sharpe lags a little bit behind. Still positive, but much lower. And also in this case, you should try to pick up the pairs that respond the best to this strategy, since only 38% of the pairs I used respond well to this. But all in all, this strategy looks to be the easiest version to do manual trading with. In my backtest it did almost 1500 trades, but you still have to remember that it is over 5 years of backtest data and over 50 crypto pairs. So you can do the math on how much trades you do on average per pair. After doing 144 backtests, I could not help but notice the following things. First of all the winning time frames for all these SMA lengths, spot and futures testing were the 4-hour or the 1-day time frame, with one exception that had the 1-hour time frame as the best performing time frame. So apparently trading with the SMA as a baseline for making trading decisions could be better done on this higher time frames. In this specific test, the futures-oriented strategies tend to perform better than the spot-only versions. On the one hand, this sounds logical since you do trading both sides of the moving average. But my experience up until now is that it is not always the case. I have experienced many times that spot trading strategies actually performed better, probably because downward movements can be quite violent and entering a short trade could already be too late in these cases. Also, over all these tests, the highest win rate was only 36%. Most of the times these win rates were between 20 and 30%. It would be better if you started out with the SMA as a baseline indicator and then slowly build up your strategy with additional indicators or trading rules. This way you have a possibility to filter out the losing trades. On some rare occasions, 60% of the pairs that I use for backtesting responded well to this strategy. On average, only 35 to 40% responded well to this trading strategy. So of the 50 pairs that I used, only around 20 have a price profile that fit this trading strategy. Another thing that I'd like to mention before anyone else does is the fact that high SMA lengths on lower time frames can be compared with lower SMA lengths on higher time frames. For example, on this 4-hour chart I have the SMA 15 open and I have the SMA 200 on the 1 hour open, since 4 times 50 is 200, and these lines are almost identical. And you probably now think that the backtest results of these two SMA lengths on their different time frames are also almost identical. But you would be mistaken, since trading on lower time frames can lead up to many more signals and thus can create more losses, since these win rates are so low. And that's also the reason why there are mostly high time frames that have the better results here. And now let's continue with the number one SMA length that got me the best theoretical backtest results here in this test. And the current simple moving average length that proved to have the best theoretical results is the SMA 100 on the 4-hour time frame, where you trade longs as long as the close price is above the SMA, or trade shorts as long as the close price is below the SMA. And this length on this time frame seems to have the best middle ground here between the SMA 100 and the SMA 20 on the 4-hour chart. However, the same remarks the second and third position have also applied to this SMA length and time frame as well. A low win rate where only 22% of the trades are winners, but letting these winners run provided with the highest gains on all these tests. The profit curve here has a nice 45-degree upward angle and does not seem to show heavy drawdown moments like the SMA 200 did. And you might experience many drawdown moments that reach around 15% up to max 17.5%, but an average drawdown is still less than 8%. The average profit and loss over the backtest period is positive most of the time. Here there are more weeks with good gains of sometimes over $2,000, and some negative weeks over $2,000, but not as many as the positive ones. And that was clearly visible in the profit curve. The default plot of the backtesting agent also shows that if you would use this strategy with a trading bot, then you would use all the available slots to trade with, as you can see in the parallelism plot section here. Now I can compare this profit curve with the other results in the strategy league, but as you can see, comparing this final results with the hypothetical profits of the other strategies does not add more information we already have. Comparing the scoring factors, however, shows that starting a trading strategy with the SMA as its fundament already gives you a head start on some of the better performing algorithms. For example, it already has a pretty low drawdown, a high Sortino ratio and a high profit factor. It is the factors where this trading strategy is weak that should get the most attention if you want to improve on this, like the low win rate and the pairs selection. But still, with all its pros and cons, this very simple to do SMA strategy still managed to get a place in the top 10 of the strategy league, on the 8th spot to be exact. And for now I think this is enough information. The video is already long enough as it is. I hope you liked the exercise and analysis in this video and learned something from it. Now, please remember that all these results are just hypothetical and based on backtesting information. Future results are not guaranteed. All the testing logs, the strategy code of all these SMA variants, and even more plots to analyze on these results are available on my Patreon site. Thank you for watching this video until the very end, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye!